To get as much content in the can as possible before Steve Corino total lockdown, restrictions mean wrestling promotions can no longer make wrestling shows. WWE have been taping the next 2 weeks of Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and yes, even WrestleMania over the last few days. And somehow, even with just skeleton crews working on individual matches, with tapings being done in different locations like the Performance Center and Full Sail University, WrestleMania spoilers are apparently being leaked. Because tell a friend, tell a gram, tell a wrestler. After WWE's first day of WrestleMania tapings yesterday, with the rest to be finished today before the Orlando total lockdown order comes into effect at midnight, the very reliable WrestleVotes tweeted out to say they had received WrestleMania spoilers, but would not be tweeting them out. Good guy, WrestleVotes. I don't know if we'd have the same restraint. But despite WrestleVotes not posting those results, if spoilers have gotten out with just a relative handful of people knowing them, that means they'll likely appear online soon. So tread very, very carefully if you don't want to see them. But the internet is all I have in these hard times right now, you might say. Well, the full 90s X-Men cartoon is on Disney+. That's what I'm doing. Na-na-na-na-na. Na-na-na-na-na. Na 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 na. I'm totally fine. Speaking of the too big for one night WrestleMania, insert joke about Daniel Bryan's balls at Elimination Chamber here. Bryan is set for an Intercontinental Championship match against Sami Zayn for one of those shows, with his new bestie Drew Gulak at his side. But once that match is filmed, which was either yesterday or today, he'll have to enter a period of quarantine before heading home to his family, as Bryan's wife, Brie Bella, revealed on the latest episode of her Bella Twins podcast. My husband has an autoimmune disease. He also fought asthma really bad when he was young. He was always sick when he was a kid, and I'll admit, I lost sleep last night. I feel bad because he's over there, and when he comes home, we're gonna have him be put up in a hotel, and our naturopath, whatever that is, Dr. Jane, he's gonna kind of work with Bryan to see if we see symptoms before he comes home to Bird and I. Bryan won't be the only WWE star self-quarantining for precautionary reasons, as both Rey Mysterio and Dana Brooke were sent home from the Performance Center tapings last week, with Mysterio's planned WrestleMania US title match against Andrade being scrapped, and Brooke having to be dropped from the six-pack challenge for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Before Brie revealed Bryan would be self-quarantining, Wade Keller of PW Torch reported a third name who was not currently showing symptoms had done the same. Keller said that since the third name had not been publicly released, he wouldn't reveal their identity, but confirmed it was taken as a preventative measure and they currently weren't on the WrestleMania card. This could be Bryan then, as his match with Zayn won't be confirmed until Friday's SmackDown, or it could be another WWE star. Even with one set of tapings already filmed though, WWE are reportedly no closer to determining what each respective night's main events will be, with Fightful now reporting night 1 being either Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler or Roman Reigns versus Goldberg. Fightful writes the original plan was for the women's match to close the first night, but there's since been a push backstage for Reigns versus Goldberg to have that spot instead. With everything taped in advance, WWE can move the match order around after the fact, based on the quality of the matches. Thanks for your support on Patreon, one half of the precious medals, John Golden. Bryan Alvarez has revealed WWE have already filmed the top matches for the show, leaving the undercard matches for tonight's set of tapings. One would assume that would mean the big title matches and blood feuds between Orton and Edge, Cena and The Fiend, and AJ and The Undertaker would have been recorded yesterday. But it's not just the main events that are undecided, as that actual card itself is still reportedly not finalized, with PW Insider reporting more random, sorta zany matches to be announced. I think by zany they mean crazy and not like Sami Zany. Because of Steve Corino, the entire WrestleTalk office has been working from home, which is why I'm on every video now. And because of that, I can't do a full review of NXT this week because I can't physically watch everything and record all this at the same time. I will have a full review of AEW shortly because I'm watching that anyway for the WrestleTalk podcast review later, and Tony Khan pays me just so much money, but Pete and Laurie will have a full NXT review podcast up on this channel soon. But for a recap for those wanting to know, here's what happened on last night's NXT episode. Now TakeOver Tampa Bay isn't happening, the cards matches will be taking place on regular old NXT starting from next week, so this episode was spent building towards them. Io Shirai made her return from injury, beat a liar and get a spot in the NXT Women's Championship #1 contendership ladder match. That's so many words! As did Candice LeRae by beating Caden Kara. Matt Riddle beat Roderick Strong for Malcolm Bivens to finally debut on NXT, managing the new tag team of Rinku Singh and Saurav Gujar, who took out both Riddle and Strong. And Triple H said Gargano and Ciampa's feud will finally end in 2 weeks' time. But then, as the three of them stood there with the show going to black, a vignette played for Killer Cross, showing him in person as the minute hand moved to 12 to end the show. And here's what happened on the 25th of March's AEW Dynamite. The first match saw Cody leave the commentary desk and kiss the ring announcer. What kind of social distancing is that? Oh right, yeah, she's his wife. To beat Jimmy Havoc in the latest example of Cody making his opponents look awesome. Jake the Snake then appeared on the video screen challenging Cody to a match with Lance Archer. Cody deflected the invitation, saying Lance can't just come into AEW and get a match with him, he's got to work his way up, which he'll start with his in-ring debut next week. After Darby Allin's latest black and white short film where he sets fire to pictures of the Inner Circle, that guy loves fire, he took on Kip Sabian in a decent TV match, where Cody proved he's not just great at putting over guys in the ring, he can do it from commentary too. Darby won with his new Last Supper leg lock pin combination, which somewhat protected Kip in defeat. Jake Hager had an impressive video package blending his AEW power spots with his MMA fights, and then squashed Chico Adams in the Cuddle Sleeper. Jon Moxley attacked Hager afterwards as revenge for the Inner Circle power bombing him off the stage, and promised he'd come for the rest of the faction soon. There are, of course, far more significant impacts of Steve Corino on society, but to focus on our wrestling bubble, it's such a shame Moxley's momentum from his world title win has been partly derailed by the outbreak. The Dark Order's recently unveiled Exalted One Brody Lee came out with just one crawler next, because cults aren't really built for social distancing, where he wrestled an excellent squash match, really getting over his impressive moveset of brainbusters, black hole slams, and his awesome Wyatt family referencing finisher of a Sister Abigail discus clothesline. What was most interesting, however, was the look at Brody's new character in the preceding video package. Lee was presented as a mob boss rather than a cult leader, not letting Dark Order members John Silver and Alex Reynolds eat their dinner until he'd finished his, and then throwing them out for sneezing. That's not actually a common symptom, Brody. You want to look for new continuous dry coughs. It was like Brody was channeling Vince McMahon, which is an interesting evolution of the Dark Order gimmick. Hopefully it will work with what's come before, as Brody as the leader was never the original plan. Kenny Omega then beat Sammy Guevara in a terrific match to retain his AAA Mega Championship. I forgot he had that title too. The last 5 minutes had some tremendous sequences, and the great thing about Sammy is that it never really feels like his opponents beat him. It's his own arrogance and showboating which really protects him, even though he actually loses a lot. And the main event saw broken Matt Hardy have a one-on-one confrontation with Chris Jericho after Hardy appeared at the top of the arena and teleported down the stands to the ring, which I didn't really like. It was a cool visual, it fits Matt's broken world, and hey, there's no fans, so who really cares? But I think it's ultimately misjudged, and I hope Matt's supernatural abilities don't appear in AEW reality ever again. Having Matt believe he is a 3,000-year-old vampire is a complex, interesting character, but having the show of AEW believe he's a 3,000-year-old vampire is hokey and undermines everything else it's trying to do. It's like if PAX started selling Orange Cassidy's super kicks as undeniably deadly as they are. If you take the teleportation out of this segment, it was actually fascinating, with Matt and Jericho saying they've seen each other live through so many different personalities, but the same insecurities persist through them all. Jericho eventually slapped him, starting a brawl with Guevara, Kenny, and Cody to close the show. What do you think of Supernatural Matt Hardy and AEW? Let me know in the comments, because I'll be replying to people from out of nowhere. And vote with your rating of the show by clicking the eye above my head. This was a decent episode with great in-ring wrestling and Brody Lee starting an interesting new chapter for the Dark Order. This week's Dynamite is 3 out of 5. Bray Wyatt's WrestleMania pitch has been leaked. Click the video on the right now for our exclusive crazy John Cena plan on what are the 10 greatest NXT takeovers of all time. Click the video below that for Adam Blompier's latest list. I've been Oli Davis, and that was wrestling.